I personally spent almost 10 years finding the best softwares to automate my Airbnb business. So in this video, I'll show you one of the most life-changing automations I currently use to manage 150 plus Airbnb properties. And I put my favorite one first so we can dive right in. So the first software that I use to automate my Airbnb business is Conduit. It used to be called Host AI. They recently changed their name to Conduit. Basically automates with AI all the guest communication. It's like a centralized inbox where you can integrate WhatsApp, calls, SMS, the OTA communication, emails, everything under one single place. For example, this is the Conduit dashboard. As you can see, 62% of all the messages, actually all the messages are being replied by AI without any human intervention. And this number, according to the industry, nowadays it can be increased up to 80%. So it can be even more automated of what already is. When we started implementing Conduit, we reduced our guest communication team from around like 5 people to just 3. Not only you can save time and cost, but also you can increase the quality of the answers. You can also measure the performance of your team here. You can actually see the specific breakdown of the performance of each individual user. What's the median response time? How many tickets have they solved, etc. On the manager dashboard, this is really useful if you have teams of people, VAs, or team of people that's actually answering this communication. You can see by each person in the team what's the median response time, how many messages each member of the team is sending, and how many tickets each user is solving, which can be really useful. You can also create workflows here. For example, we can take a look at one of the workflows that we have created. And this workflow is actually triggered 17 hours after the check-in. The channel is sent by WhatsApp. And it's basically, hi, name of the guest. I hope you had a good first night. And I just want to ask you, so far, would you rate your stay with 5 stars? If there's anything I could do to improve your stay, let me know. Thanks a lot. So this message, for example, actually gives us a chance to, if the guest is not going to review us with 5 stars, we still had a chance to actually kind of anticipate that. And so they can tell us what's wrong with their stay. We can fix it. And then we can actually make an effort to get those 5-star reviews. So the end result of this, how you're going to see the conversations here, you're going to see something like this, where everything is centralized into one point. OTA messages, emails, SMS, WhatsApp, even phone calls. Even if somebody calls you, you receive a notification here inside Conduit. You receive a sound and you can answer here straight in Conduit. You can also call from here. And that phone call gets transcribed, completely transcribed. So you have the backup here. And also AI gets the context and it can keep working for you, like answering and helping the guest. So yeah, this for sure will save you tons of hours, and also not only save you time, money, but also will increase the quality of the answers to your guests. So this second software that I use to automate my Airbnb business, it's Price Labs. And I personally use Price Labs to automate everything related to price setting or revenue management. How to adjust in an automatic fashion the prices of my Airbnbs. The main reason I like to use Price Labs is, first of all, the pricing. It's very competitive regarding other revenue management softwares out there. Probably the main reason I personally like to use Price Labs is the flexibility and all the options to customize it. For example, it's really easy in Price Labs to set up a minimum, a base, and a maximum price per each listing, meaning that the property is never going to go below a minimum price. It's never going to go above a maximum price, but it's usually going to move around the base price. You can set up these values for each individual listing, but also you can create something that's called groups in the customization section right here. You go here and you can create an account group, which applies to all the properties that are connected to your PMS. But you can also create individual groups like cities. For example, I have different groups for each individual city that I operate in. And regions, you can create different rules. For example, you can live inside the Pucon city and you go to edit. You can actually customize rules specifically only for this city, but also you can go and do overrides inside the calendar. For example, I just want to edit this specific weekend on the calendar, and it will allow me to do a price increase or a price reduction. One of the main rules that I like to use here in Price Labs is last minute gradual discounts. I feel if you're not using a revenue management software, you will have to do this manually, meaning like each day that if your property doesn't have any bookings, you should be gradually discounting each day of the week the price until you get a booking. I remember I used to do that in the past, but now this is completely automated. You can how far the discount will go and how many days do you want to spread out this gradual discount. You have also open day prices rule, booking recency factor, minimum stay settings, occupancy-based adjustments, and also far out rules. Yeah, with Price Labs, for sure, not only you can save lots of hours of your time doing revenue management, but also you can heavily increase the amount of money that you do each month from each specific listing, because it's going to help you fill out your calendar at the highest possible rate for each day. And the third tool that is extremely helpful to automate my Airbnb business is Breezeway. Breezeway basically takes care and handles all things on terrain, in the ground, operations related, particularly everything related with cleaning, maintenance, and inspections. So basically on Breezeway, you can also see the map and where your housekeepers and your housekeeping leads are currently working right now. So it's really good to track. They are punctual. With this tool, you can confirm that they arrive at certain property at the right time and they leave also at the right time because it has GPS tracking location. And also something that's really, really useful is that you can track, for example, let's say in the last 30 days, I want to do a filter and I want to know exactly how many cleanings one specific housekeeper has done. So I can see it's 40 in the last 30 days. This gives me a lot of, also I can, for example, if I get a review that's not 5 stars, I can do a double click into, I can do a deep dive on that specific cleaning and I can actually review it and see the pictures of that specific cleaning. What happened, how was the before, how is the after, all the details, all the backup, everything, it's here. Everything has a picture, so that helps you a lot. Another thing that's super useful in Breezeway is the user planning, or basically helps you schedule the cleanings during the week and during the month. So basically, it couldn't be any easier to plan your cleanings. You basically have to upload all the housekeepers. You upload the time they're working, and then it's just basically a drag and drop thing where you just drag and drop the actual cleanings that they can put, and then you just click here in commit. And when you click that, it will send to each specific housekeeper where they have to go at what time, and then I receive all the information in their app. Another thing that's really nice and good about the Breezeway is here the section approval request. Very handy when you have certain maintenance that are expensive above certain threshold, let's say $200, $300, whatever. So it's good to actually request an approval either from like the owner of the property or maybe if you have like a lead of operation. So it's just as easy, housekeeper or like the maintenance person, you can click on it and you see what is it, pictures, what the actual cost of it, and you just go here and you approve it or not. And everything it's automated and super organized. And by the way, if you need help implementing this software or any of the tools that I'm showing here, can join the #1 Airbnb management community on School by clicking the link below this video. Basically, you will find weekly group calls that will help you implement everything that we are reviewing this video. Plus, you're going to have a classroom tab where you can have video tutorials on this specific topic, plus step-by-step tutorials in all the things you need to know to build and scale a successful Airbnb business. So back into the video. Another software that I love and it really helps me automate my Airbnb business is the property management software that I'm currently using. Guesty has so many different cool features. For example, the first one that I really like is the mood calendar, which they recently updated, and now the UX is very friendly, it's very intuitive, but it's also fast when you start increasing more and more properties. Another really cool feature about Guesty is the owner's portal or owner's module, which is something that it provides each owner their individual owner's portal where they have access to see kind of their property. It's something that really comes into hand when you have an Airbnb management business and you want to transfer transparency to your clients. Another really cool feature about Guesty is that the financials tab of each specific reservation has a native integration with Airbnb, with Booking.com. Matter of fact, it has a native integration with so many, pretty much every single different OTA that's aligned out there. Not only Airbnb, Booking.com, but as you can see, pretty much everything but the kitchen sink integrated with Guesty, and it's very seamless. Another really cool feature is that, as I mentioned before, inside each specific reservation, you not only can see like total payout, which the guest pay, the owner's revenue, your commission, the net income, everything, but you can also see the specific information about the specific guest. For example, if they attached like a ID or something, I don't want to show the ID, but everything will get here, like the passport and also the check-in form, which is something that you can customize and you can ask all the information, whatever information you need. Will make the check-in more seamless and also it will help your operation. For example, on our check-in form, we make the guests sign terms and conditions. For example, there's a pet fee, there's an exiting fee, it's dirty, there's an early check-in fee, etc., etc. So by making sign and agree the guest to these terms and conditions, it gives an extra layer of protection and it's really useful. Another thing that I really like about Guesty is the analytics. It gives you all sorts of different benchmarks, revenue, review section, occupancy, owner's overview. You can really break down your business through the numbers, which is really what you should do, especially if you want to scale. Last but not least, another thing that I really like about Guesty is the integration stuff. It's probably the PMS that has the larger amount of integrations. It really connects to every single software out there that's on the vacation rentals industry. This now becomes really handy. It also has different categories like brand and marketing, data management, financials, guest, technology, home automation, revenue management, different service providers, bookkeeping, accounting. And the fifth software that helps me so much to automate my Airbnb business is Meta Ads Manager. Of course, if you've been following for a while, you know that I don't like to do cold outreach. I like inbound clients coming to me, asking me to manage their Airbnb. So what I do is I have a pretty nice, beautiful website here where people can apply so we can actually manage their Airbnb. But you might be wondering, hey, how do you drive traffic to this website? How people are gonna know and how is your company famous? Well, basically we drive traffic to this website through Meta Ads Manager. And we literally I also wanted to consider this software as something that helps me automate my Airbnb business, just because the fact that I create these ads, I create them like, I don't know, a couple of times per year, like 2 to 4 times per year, I updated tabs and they pretty much run on autopilot. People see an ad, they click on it, they land on this website, they fill out a form, and basically that's it. I will receive a brand new lead, a name, an address, an email, and a phone number that really is hot and wants the Airbnb management service. So when I contact them, it's easy to make them sign a contract and get a new client for your Airbnb business. And finally, last but not least, the software number 6 that helps me automate my Airbnb management business is Bambi. And Bambi, it's no more than a WhatsApp CRM with AI that after people fill out a form on my website and they click send, This lead will arrive here in Bambi. Bambi will basically, with AI, send the potential host, the lead, the client, immediately will send a WhatsApp message and we'll start asking questions to qualify the client. How many bathrooms, how many bedrooms, etc. And once the AI has the address, somebody from our team validates it and then schedules a call, which also the call is completely scheduled with AI. The AI proposes different potential available times and schedules a call. Pretty much everything until the call, it's completely automated. And then myself or one of our sales agents jumped on a call with the client with the intention of make them sign a contract so they can actually get inside our company and get their Airbnb management service. So that's it, guys, for today's video. If you stay until the end of this video, please leave a comment below if you have any doubts. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If this is helpful, please give a like, share, subscribe, and helps me keep pushing more content for you guys. And by the way, you cannot automate an Airbnb business if you don't already have one running. So if you haven't started yet, I recommend you watch this video right here. That's it for today, guys. See you in the next one. Peace.